I'm talking with Lucie Arnaz, Carol Burnett, and Lucille Ball. And we were talking about something earlier that leads me into this. I often wonder if women who are big stars, as you are, if they ever worry about, if my kids go berserk or something like that, it'll be because I'm a star and an egocentric person. People always think stars are that, you know. And if they worry about that always, how guilty they'd feel. And do you know what I'm saying? Does this ever?
No, Dick.
And nobody, you know what I'm saying? Does a lady star ever always have to think, gee, I wonder if I ought to give it up for my family? And
any woman who works has the same feeling of guilt that perhaps they should be with their family more.
Yeah.
When we first started television, I was 6 months pregnant with Lucy. And so our television life started with Lucy's life. And certainly we made ourselves more time with our first child, who came rather late in life. And I had waited a long time, and I wasn't about to. I think we spent more time with Lucy and with Desi than most people have to spend with their children, because we planned it that way. Carol plans her life that way now, too, and she has 11.
I don't have them all myself.
Well,
And one of the
you're a
young
fantastic
ladies are
mother.
married now. She's backstage, and we have
Fantastic
5
mother.
kids with us all
Yeah.
the time.
you always keep 5 with you at any given time.
Any given moment. I don't know who they are, but they're with us. No, but I have the hours on our show are sensational. I'm home more than I am at work, really.
You do a weekly television show, and you can
Yes.
find time to go home?
I don't have to be at work any day. Well, taping day, I have to be there at 11 in the morning, but that's the earliest. Then I usually report in around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Get there earlier to do my exercise class with a group at CBS, and then I go to rehearsal. I'm home every day by 5:30, with the exception of our orchestra rehearsal and the night we tape. Have our weekends off, summers, and every 4th or 5th week we get a week off. Now, you can't ask
that's
for
better than most people do, you know, people that work in
regular
regular
hours.
hours. And I think
That's
when
amazing.
you really, you know, make up your mind that you're going to spend a lot of time with your children, and you really want to, it's very easy
Well,
to
the
do.
thing
and
is, too, like with your show and ours, when we get there, we don't fool around drinking coffee and telling stories for
boy.
an hour. You know, like
Yeah.
a lot of shows do. They, you know, kid around
The way
and
you
everything,
do,
and then
Dick.
finally they get up and they'll start.
Boy, I do.
But we've got it all scheduled, and that's it. And, you know, and this
treat it like a
number is
business.
for an hour, and this sketch, we rehearse for a half hour, and that's it, and then you go home.
It's tiring just to hear you tell it. I don't know how you manage to be so, I don't mean boring, I mean tiring. Lucy, do you have any desire to not marry into show business, or have you thought about it?
Oh, no. It's, I'm engaged to a fellow who's used to be in show business and who is not acting now, but is producing and directing, and I think it's great because you're doing something that you both understand, you know. I always used to think that if you were both in show business that might conflict, but it doesn't. You find that you have sympathy for the same types of things, you know. It's good. I think it really is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we come back? Why don't we come back? We have
Why
to.
don't we?
where are we going?
Well, that's true. I never thought of that. When you say we're going away and we're coming back, you sit right here. You never move, do you?
No.
Not unless I can go to the ladies' room.
When we come back, you can all ask me anything you want to. No, I take it back. I take it back. No, you can't. No, I just said that. It was a silly moment. Well, maybe you can. We'll be back after this message. We're back. And I offered the ladies a chance to ask me anything they wanted, but none of them could think of anything. Can you?
All right. What are your measurements?
Why, I assumed they were ladies. What a thing to
that's
say to a
You know, that's what
person.
people usually ask.
Yeah, they always, if you ask them
What are
anything,
your
they ask you that, huh?
measurements? Yeah.
I think I have the normal chest expansion for a person of my size and age.
I have the same thing.
Give it. I was going to say give or take a few inches, but no, I won't. No, I'm relatively symmetrical, and in no startling way
I think
would
you're
would I
darling.
deviate from the norm.
do.
Lucy
try
wants
not
to know if you can cook. That Lucy.
Yeah, your daughter wants to know if I can cook.
Well, I think you sort of, you know, gave me a look like you didn't like to cook before. Do you?
As a matter of fact, the tiny experience that I've had with cooking I've enjoyed. I made a stew once that would knock your hat off.
Yeah?
Yes, a very fine one.
Oh, 'cause see,
And,
I really think that's great when guys can cook. I don't know
Yeah.
why that turns me on about people, but I think it's fantastic.
When men cook, that
I
gets
saw you
to
make an omelet on the show once. You're pretty good about that.
Yes, and I made a chef out in Nebraska so mad that he won't speak to me again. He said I had the
The worst
Galloping
omelet you'd ever
Gourmet on.
seen, right?
And he said he would have thrown that man out of his kitchen if he'd
Oh,
made an
no.
omelet that way. I'm sure Graham cares quite upset. But men cooking, that's not considered feminine?
No, they're the best.
Are you kidding?
There's no reason why it should. You never
it's one
heard
of the
a...
most prestigious jobs, especially
Yeah.
in Europe. You know, to be a chef. That's wow. That's
Yeah, all
next to
good
being
chefs
king.
are men.
Yeah.
It's
well,
only
no.
one of the many ways
Most
in
of
which
them
men
are.
are
Yeah.
superior.
You could be a good.
opening up something now. I take it.
Hey, why did that thing I said on the show once get people so upset, get women so upset? Lee Grant was here the other night, and she is one of several actresses, but also women, I don't make a distinction, who was upset about
Oh,
this
yes,
fact that...
you did.
Huh?
Oh, yes, you did.
No, did I?
No, go ahead. I missed my timing. Go.
Who were upset when I said one time that women who like the company of other women are not as interesting as the women who like the company of other men. In other words, the women at a party who are the most interesting ones are the ones who don't want to get stuck with the women talking about canning and fruit jar rings and or not just domestic things either. But when you're at a party, do you want to get stuck talking to the ladies? Well, I'm loading it by saying stuck. Do you enjoy the company of the female personages as much as that of the male?
Depends on the person.
Depends on what kind of guys are there and what kind of girls, right? Yeah, but if they were equally matched and
I'd
fairly
pick the
decent,
guys,
I would
yeah.
pick the guys, right?
Yeah.
I stay with my husband.
Ah, tricky.
You do?
He's more fun than anyone I know.
But if you weren't there, would you find yourself gravitating to where the women are sitting around and talking?
Immediately when you said that, I gravitate to Carol whenever I'm in a room where she's at a party and we go to a lot of the same functions. Maybe you're bored with this. No. Every time I see Carol, I go boom across the room, and I just kind of stick around, tail her around. So that's why I was giving it some thought.
Yeah.
I do. I just stick with my husband.
Do you think talk about women, it's in vogue today, you know, I always talk about women and what they want. And I ran across a quote of Sigmund Freud where he said that of the...
Oh, well, what does he know?
No, he said something interesting. He said that in the 60 years or something of research that he had done, the one thing that would plague him to his grave was, I do not know what women want. What do you suppose he meant by that? He seemed to know what men do, but
I never knew
women
what he
remained a
meant
mystery.
by a lot of things he said. Good old Sigmund.
I think Sig was mixed up a lot.
Were you acquainted with the gentleman?
No, he tried.
He did, eh? Chased you around the psychoanalytic couch, I see. Okay.
I don't know what they meant. None of us have answered your question, and I don't know why Lee Grant was upset. Is that what you said?
You know, I forgot to pursue it because she then introduced the fact that I was mentioned in the book, The Sensuous Man, something, and I,
Really? I haven't read
I
that.
heard.
Yeah, how about that? How about them apples?
How about that?
Oh, I'm not going to touch that.
Don't look at me, Dick.
Now, why was there that murmur in the audience before when I said you could ask me anything you wanted?
There
I
must
suppose?
be a
Well,
lot
I
of
think
things
they all
want it.
probably know the way we are sort of aware that you heretofore have never liked to have any questions asked you. You have said that. And those of us that watch you religiously, you
Religiously.
excuse the expression,
Right.
know that you don't like to have your privacy invaded.
Yeah?
Yeah. Them, how you like them apples?
Well, if you were to invade it just a little bit in a ladylike way, where would you begin?
With your wife.
Oh, you would? Well, since she isn't here, we'll have to change the subject.
That's what I mean.
Yeah?
No, actually, you're
But
right.
it-
You said we could ask you anything, and then I couldn't think of
You're
a thing I
chicken.
could ask you on television.
You're chicken, Dick.
On am I? Wait a minute, I'm being picked on by 2 generations here. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I am.
3 generations.
Do you
She's
think
in the
that-
middle.
But Miss Ball, do you feel that by blurting out the lurid details of my private life...
It was your idea, Richard.
Oh, I know what I
true.
wanted to ask you. What's your middle name?
That's a good one.
No, that's not.
What is
No, that's not a good one. I'll tell you a good one.
Confess.
then.
I'll tell you mine if you'll tell me yours.
Well, what if it turns out to be the same name? Then we'll be...
What is it?
It starts... no, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on.
No, I don't want to tell you. I said you
Marion.
could ask me anything.
Marion.
Elizabeth.
Marion?
Francine.
Francis.
Someone said Miller.
You're not going to tell us, right?
It starts with an A.
Aloysius.
No, it's Alva. A-L-V-A, as in Thomas
Thomas
Alva
Alva
Edison.
What's the matter with that?
It's terrible.
No, it is not. We'll be back. I don't want to... I don't have to... It's the baiting game. We have a message from our local station. We'll be right back. It's terrible.